Hi everybody, today I am making my first ever hamster enclosure. I'm going to be doing a DIY bin setup. DIY bin setups are a really good alternative when you're working on a budget or you are just starting out and you don't really have an IKEA near you to go do a big DIY project such as the Lindman. But make no mistake, it is not as budget friendly as you think. When it comes down to the actual materials that you need, like the bedding and enrichment toys or other enrichment objects for your hamster, you will be spending upwards of $250 on your first hamster setup, and that's if you have a bin at home. A lot of the inspiration for my enclosure comes from Victoria Raechel's YouTube channel, the r/hamsters subreddit, and then the Hamster Care Central Discord server, which I will have all of those linked in the description. I really encourage you to look into all of these resources if you are thinking about getting a hamster, or even if you have one and you want to improve this setup. One really cool thing about the bin enclosures is that it requires such minimal DIYing. It's cutting the lid to have the space for the wire mesh and then drilling holes to zip tie the wire mesh into it. So this is perfect for if you're living in an apartment like me where you can't get to like a space outside to have like a workbench or use really big tools, because I definitely could not do that right now, which is why I'm doing a bin enclosure. So now I'm going to move into the actual building of the hamster enclosure. Like I said, this requires minimal DIY. Really, the most complex part of this DIY is going to be ensuring that we have a breathable lid for the hamster. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need obviously your bin and your lid. You're going to need a knife or whatever cutting tool you would prefer. I'm going to use a knife. You'll need a drill to make the holes for the zip ties to go into, and then you'll need some hard metal mesh and zip ties. I'm starting the enclosure building process now. I'm kind of doing a little like haul tour for my stream because I did live stream me setting this up, and I wanted to kind of explain to everybody what I was doing as I was doing it. But everything that I am using in this video and in the enclosure, I will have linked in the description exactly where I got it. Most of the stuff that I got was from Amazon just because that would get to me the fastest and it was just the better kind of like bang for my buck at that time. But if you can, I would recommend going to your local pet store. So right now I'm kind of setting up this middle layer. I had a 3-layer enclosure in mind, and I needed to start off with this base layer to kind of get everything like separated and decide where I need everything to go. And then at this very bottom layer, I have a layer of cork granules just to add another substrate for the hamster. And it's kind of at this point where I realize that I'm definitely going to need more bedding. So I'm kind of just doing what I can with getting the middle layer set up. I had a little cardboard box that I just kind of cut it down to make it shorter so that way I could use it as a platform for the wheel. The wheel is a Night Angel wheel, and because it's a tall wheel, it'll be a lot better for the hamster's back versus the smaller wheels that you find more commonly. And then I decided to start gluing moss onto my bridges, so that way my moss could dry while I went to the pet store to go and get more bedding, so that way I could properly make my top layer the way that I wanted it to be. I wanted to have a lot of bedding so that way my hamster could have so much room to burrow, and I do think that I ended up doing that correctly. I can't find the measuring tape that's at my house, but I want to say that there is at least 10 to 12 inches of bedding in this top layer. And then here I am kind of doing I kind of did a quick little haul. I got the wrong bedding. Do not use scented bedding. Just get your plain natural paper bedding. So I went back to the pet store and returned it and then got the right bedding, and then here I am getting that all set up. I wanted to make it kind of blend in. I am going for kind of a natural hamster enclosure theme, so you can kind of tell, hopefully, that that's what I'm going for. And here I am just kind of making everything kind of more solid, like sturdy-ish to walk on, and then I'm gluing this other bridge that I apparently forgot to glue before I went to the pet store. Now I have my sprays. I do also have some wheat sprays that I add in after the fact, and we'll see that when I do my little like close-up tour, but those were only there at the time. Then I added some little foraging treats, and now I am at the lid. When I said earlier that this would be like a minimal DIY, I lied. I didn't realize I was lying at the time, but I did lie. This lid was so difficult to make. It's probably because I was using a box cutter and a lighter. It definitely could have been easier, but for some reason it just wasn't for me. I don't know why. And then here I am trying to use my drill to drill holes for my zip ties to go through, but the drill kept dying and I had no I just was so focused on getting this done. So I used my box cutter to cut holes in it, and then I made sure I cleaned that up as I was going so that way I didn't have plastic pieces falling out. But I also will use some paper tape to tape over it so that way it won't be a problem for my hamster. And then I did use the drill a little bit after it had charged to kind of make sure that a lot of those plastic pieces were gone. I will say that the drill also kept dying during this part, so this part also took a long time because I would charge the battery up, or as much as I needed it, and then I'd use it, and then it would die, and then I would just repeat the process. So it was really my fault, but you know. Now I'm doing the zip ties. This part was pretty easy. My mesh is layered over because I didn't really have any wire cutters. And then here I am doing the paper tape and adding in my water bottle, and here is the final look. I put this on a cube organizer to have all my things in storage, and I think that that's really helping with the overall look, and then it's eye level for me. Now you see the top layer with a little hideout, then I have my second layer, my mossy bridges, my third layer with the wheel, then I have my sand bath, and then this is my favorite part, the little carrots that look like they're planted in the ground. Oh my god, that's just so cute to me. I just am obsessed with it. I think my hamster is really, really going to love this. And then I also added wheels so that way I could easily move this if I needed to, but we don't really use that closet anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. And then Thalia came to help. She's so nosy, just my little lady. So now that I've finished my bin enclosure, my plan is to go and actually get a hamster. I want to get a female dwarf hamster. I'm going to go to my local pet store who I've already called to ask where they get their animals from. I'm not going to film me going to get the hamster because I'm not really the vlogger type, but maybe whenever my hamster's actually settled in, I might do kind of like an update video. And eventually I do want to update to the IKEA Detolf setup, but right now I just don't really have that kind of space or money to do so. But whenever I do that, I will also probably make an update video if that's something that you guys might be interested in. Thank you for watching my video, and if you guys want to leave a like or subscribe, that would be cool, but you definitely do not have to. And hopefully I'll make another video in the future of me doing an upgraded setup, so I guess I will see you in that next one.